Well, good morning, and let's see what's going on here. What we've got is another piece here, which we're going to work on because now we have kind of a sense of direction. Um, um, these are the Kanji space stations of maybe the third information age. What this is part of the fabrication thing with Jupiter and the planetoids and all the rest of it. I came up with something which I thought was kind of cool, which were Kanji space stations. So these are Kanji letters, right? This guy here in the foreground is how would you put it? Well, you're seeing the top of one of these, right? Okay, so we're just going to quickly we figured out that the preliminary drawings need to kind of get done kind of quick. So, and then I speed things up and then I add a soundtrack and all of that. So we've been doing that. And we're going to refine that a little bit better over the next 10 videos, okay? So this is video number 51, this guy here. Roughly, we can just say that we moved into the last half of these first 100 videos that are more or less made to get me oriented to this trip that I'm working on. I'm very interested in language, so think of these as coloring pages, right? These Kanji space station coloring pages. We here in the United States are just being brutally bullied by morons who want us to forget. America is like, well, how would we put it? America, the United States of America, represents about 250 years of localized human history. And there are cultures that are literally thousands of years old. China happens to be one of those cultures. It's gone through many changes, but I don't know how old these kanji forms, characters, whatever, are, but we can assume that they're older than the United States. They're older than a lot of things. We're looking at some very old semantic architecture. Okay, so what's happening here is that I came up with a whole bunch of these stories, and I think these space stations are cool. And they represent language in a really cool way. I mean, these big, giant kanji space stations. And what they were we could say that we're going to do science fiction. The third information age represented incredible affluence. If you've ever seen Forbidden Planet, that place where I forgot the name, the Krell? Was it the Krell? The civilization basically was able to take their instrumentality and hook it up to their mind, but forgot about their subconscious and destroy themselves. To think of kind of that, not necessarily that level of fabrication. What happened in the third information age is that fabrication, the ability to take molecules and move them around and do things, had become amazing. And what had happened was various derivations of the human species were all over the solar system. But places like Jupiter, Saturn, because they're gas giants, the asteroid belt, etc., became useful for just building stuff. And one of the major issues was cluttering up the solar system and or redistributing the mass, right? So there were several crises about cluttering Earth's path around the sun with garbage, right? Because Earth was created something to spin off, who knows what. Anyway, let's see. So anyway, the third information age evolved. Somebody took some AI and had it just generate poetry made of Kanji space stations. Why not, right? And so part of the situation involving the planetoids also involves these Kanji space stations. This arrangement here is Serenity. That's what it's supposed to be. I put Serenity into Google Translate. Did not double check it. So I hope this is Serenity. It might be something else. I didn't double check it. But whatever, it's going to be related to Serenity. So I doubt that's really going to be, it's not dangerous. I hope I didn't come up with something dangerous trying to be serene. Anyway, la-di-da, something deeply offensive to, so anyway, China now is not China of old, but it certainly has a history. And for instance, I'm trying to think, and I'm fond, I guess I'm just going to digress and go off in a different direction. I'm fond of various parts of Asian history, and China, especially because of Confucius, I can't even say it, Confucius, we'll just leave it at Confucius, and the I Ching, and architecture, and let's see what else. Oh, Go, I didn't mention Go. I really like the game of Go. I forgot all about Go. Go is a fantastic game. I really like it. I don't play it very well, but I like it. WWW. So the Kanji space stations are cool. And I don't know if you've ever paid attention. This is my linguistic problem. I love how these characters look. If nobody can show me anything, any one of these, I won't be able to tell you what it means. Even though we have a beautiful Asian art museum here in Seattle. For what was it? I spent a whole season because the library was great. I would go to the library and I would, look through the books, and I was especially interested in the Chinese calligraphy and the letters. I drew all kinds of kanji letters, and I still don't know what any of them mean. You can show, even though I've just drawn this, you probably show that to me, and I wouldn't know what it meant. Okay, I shouldn't tell people that. But anyway, so these kanji stations, remember these are rough, and they need this. We found out that the widest one, that's too. We like that look. Maybe they'll be redistributed better height in the next drawing, but this certainly got too narrow, and this is too tiny. And so what we've got now is we're noticing, basically that's kind of uneven. Of course, it's going to be further away, say that, because that's just further away. Okay, so then we took care of that. Okay, that's important. What's another thing that's important? Okay, so we have the spiral going off. I'm going to do the new telescope that went up, right? It's showing all these formations of galaxies and collections of galaxies and all kinds of other things that are just beyond our comprehension. Now, one of the things that's amazing is all that stuff that you see through the telescope that's that far away. You're looking at like zillions of years ago. And one of the things is where is the mass now, right? So we have all of these. Consider me a primitive cartoonist. I don't know. Physicists have to be way smarter than my little cartoon imagination. But the main thing being is where is the mass now? So we're looking at mass that was doing something very interesting several zillion years ago. But what is that mass doing now? Now, so the phenomenon, and I'm just going to throw this out there, the phenomenon that we look at with our ability to be here where we are, right? We may be looking at the same thing several times over because of how gravity bends light and mass has been redistributed and all kinds of other things. So we bend ourselves over backwards trying to figure out dark matter, right? But it may be a lot of the phenomenon is just, well, the mass right now is somewhere else, right? And if quantum phenomenon really does have anything to do with how the universe operates, where the mass is, for instance, right now, would be incredibly important and would be different than the light we're looking at that is several zillion years old, right? I mean, that's just common sense, at least for me. Anyway, there are planes going up. They're overhead. We hope they're overhead. We really hope the planes are overhead. Okay. And I guess this is the path we're going to take to the airport. It's past this door that's over here. Okay. So anyway, that kind of stuff's kind of interesting. Where was I going with that? Oh, that the new telescope has revealed just the most amazing galactic formations. There's some really amazing galactic formations. So for coloring things, right? Space age coloring. Our Kanji space station coloring things. And fictional galaxies, all that stuff, right? Okay, so what happens is, got that background. That's our galaxy. Something's going on. So having fun with that is kind of fun. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers Peter Max long ago and far away. He was cool. He would do these kind of stars from kind of thing going on. It'll be fun to have coloring pages and have, well, Kanji space stations and planetoids, these galactic bursts of whatever going on. So think some of that. And this is just me, how would we put it, getting going. Because, okay, it's the end of July, and quite honestly, I just would like to see progress in a linguistic fashion all over the place. So this thing about what I was saying about international. Yeah, international. I'm so disappointed in what we call 2022 America. It's just so, it wasn't what I thought it would be when I was younger. Because I've been doing science fiction. I would call my mature science fiction product. I've been doing it since about 1978. Okay? In 1978, which is a very, very, very long time ago, I was doing science fiction. I was in high school. And I reached a level of writing things with grown-ups, say people who were in their 30s, we're older, right? We're paying attention to them. Like, that's very good. That's just not bad, you know. And so, and my drawings weren't bad. So we can say that since 1978, or just around the Star Wars kind of period, I have been drawing sci-fi stuff. And so we're just going to keep doing this, and we're not going to be terribly afraid of hyping up my voice. You know, I don't want anybody to have to suffer through a video that's anymore than say 20 minutes long. So if I sound like a pipsqueak chipmunk while I'm drawing, and it's 25 minutes long, that's good. You know, 20 minutes. Kanji stations are floating above the surface of the large planet, which is in the star system, what you call it, where there are planetoids, right? Sure, right. Okay. And yeah, I often wonder. Dave wondered. Okay, so here's another thing about the whole thing about where's the mass now. Consider me ignorant, right? But let's say that the phenomenon they call it entangled particles. They call it congruent particles. I just know I heard about the particles that basically, no matter how far apart they are, they behave as if they're part of the same thing, right? And being ignorant, I don't know if the speed of light affects that or gravity or any of that. You see, there's all these particles in the universe that we'll call them congruent, okay? So what would happen if you considered, let's say there's a certain type of congruent particle, right? Okay. We'll call it the Dave particle, right? What the heck, our Dave particle. We'll come up with something. Maybe I'll name it after somebody or something later. But anyway, as it stands, only that would be a lot of mass in the entirety of the universe. I mean, a few particles here and there don't add up to much, right? On our level, right? But if they do all behave the same, right? Well, how many of them are there in the entirety of the universe, right? Are there enough of them to make up amounts to the mass of the galaxy in their own right? Okay? And since they're not separate from the universe, right, would this quantum galaxy or whatever it is affect what's going on? Huh? Would it? Would it? Well, my opinion is that would make for a great story, right? That would make for a great story. So that's the story that's telling over on this station here. Do I want to mess this up yet? No, we don't know that. Okay, so what we have is we have these Jetsons, the last starfighter, right? The last starfighter. And the guy's really happy. The war is over. Well, maybe there's no war. You don't have to. That's the whole thing. I wish Star Wars had been Star Serenity instead, and that would just be cool. Star Serenity. So this is really primitive. I don't know. We're going to have it coming sweeping by the station. Now, what would be funny is there's absolutely no Chinese character in the entire lexicon of Chinese characters that has this thing on top of it. So I'm Greeking Chinese letters. Okay. Now, okay, so more bad science. So what we got here is we got this. So I haven't paid attention to the what do we call it? The Disney universe very much, because basically it's sort of like a lot of other things that other people are doing. I just write my own stories, I guess, and it keeps me busy. And occasionally what will happen is I'll run into something like, oh wow, that guy already thought of that. Well, of course he did, right? But my stories stay pretty original. And quite frankly, I'm really that was a great bunch of comics and other things in like the 60s and 70s. I was there. And but to just keep hammering away at this basically kind of, I don't know. It's a mythology, I guess. All the mythology side of it. They created a mythology, but griping about mythology. Anyway, so I haven't paid attention to Disney or what they did with some of the characters, but I've heard tell, and I don't know the rules. I have to find out the rules. Like I found out Galactus. I like Galactus. When the Silver Surfer comics were great. I found out did Disney give him a Mobius strip space station? I came up with Mobius strip space. It might have been anything. So anyway, I'm just kind of bantering, I suppose, with myself. Anyway, I was going to go towards this direction, quantum. And I don't know what the rules for Ant-Man quantum or Disney quantum or Doctor Strange quantum or any of that are, but the quantum concept and what that means for like Avatar galactic travel, right? You wouldn't necessarily need to send a spaceship across the entire universe. You would just have an avatar on the other side of the universe, kind of doing what your particle is telling them to do. I think it's ambitions like that have some of these whacked out guys kind of, oh man, I want to go across the universe as an avatar particle Africa. Probably not a good idea. You don't know what the hell. I mean, that stuff's probably been going on for a long time. It's like most other stuff. Until we can get our act together here on Earth, we should probably just be doing that kind of stuff. But anyway, so the idea that, yeah, it's just an idea. It's an idea of how there may be phenomena happening all the time, but basically we really don't know much about, and it could be intergalactic and be all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, again, duh, that makes for great stories. Right? So I don't know enough about, or I don't know much about Disney universe. I plan on kind of having fun this year. Oh fuck, I'm messing up. So a trick. This is just a trick. I'm not using color very often. What happens is when you have something like this, and you don't want to have black, mess it up, right? Use a colored marker, preferably a marker that isn't going to mess with your eyes. Neon pink. Oh, okay. Neon pink's a really cool thing. Try to call it. Anyway, this is kind of a cool color. Now we won't mess up anything with regard to where we put the lines. Okay. What we're doing is we're figuring out where to put lines. Once we get this figured out, right, it'll make everything a little easier. Okay. So, now, again, another trick is let the lines figure themselves out. On the next drawing, let them just figure themselves out. This is how you figure out tangents and everything. By just drawing through that, right? You already figured it out. It's a little bit different with regard to tangents, right? You want, see? Now, when these lines go through here against that, they'll work pretty well. Okay, now, just draw straight through here. Oh. And draw straight through here. Yeah, so these ideas, they're wonderful. But the problem is you don't want QAnon to get involved or any of these. I mean, we're about to hear the most ludicrous. Oh, time travel. That's another thing. I personally don't believe time travel is possible because the particles that make now what it is can't be somewhere else doing something else in another. It would rip the entire universe apart, basically, in my opinion, about supposed time travel. It doesn't mean that you can't go out. We're doing time travel looking at the past. We're looking at several zillion years ago, through our telescopes and stuff. But that's not the same thing as being right now. There may not be anything in that space anywhere at all. Who knows? Anyway, but the thing being, where I'm going is that we want time travel. For some reason, the human race really wants time travel, but I don't think it can happen. But we've gone to this place where, like, we can call them nerdiots, okay, at MIT are going, well, we've proven time travel. Well, no, you can't prove time travel. That's the whole thing. You can't prove it. And you reach a point where what you thought was true isn't true if you're chasing after things that can't exist. So what you've proven is something else. Time travel isn't happening. But what you have done is you created a really neat little kind of, like, an event. You created a really cool little phenomenon there. But the thing is, in my personal belief is that time travel is impossible. Which leads me to another point of departure for stories and things, is that the actual nowness never goes away, right? There's a now, an actual now. It's just basically here, now and here, be here now, right? I don't know if that's useful. It's kind of cool though. What you have is you have duration, and you have relative distance, and you have curved, paths of whatever. What's also interesting is that the only straight line that can exist is an imagined line. And another thing that's also interesting is that the universe never never visits the same space twice. So this has been kind of one of those. I don't know if this is an infomercial or what. Dave's opinion about physics. But that isn't physics. That's science fiction, right? You hand me, I actually don't know a whole bunch about physics, which I should know. I intuitively seem to not mess up, I guess is one way to put it. Oh, but look, I already did. I messed up big time. This is going, I did MCS. That needs to go like that. This needs to look, that's getting smaller ones here. Here I am saying I don't mess up. And I just messed up big time. That needs to get bigger, 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 bigger. It needs to get bigger at an angle. About like that. For this to be right, that needs to do that. Okay. So, let's very quickly make the drawing look kind of complete by running this stuff behind here. Okay. Finishing off the spaceship. We got to finish off the spaceship. So the spaceship is coming along like this. And which reminds me, see, David is not that bright. David needs to make different size spaceships in different places here. They're all the same, standardized. They're variations on like a similar design. That would make this work a little bit better. Yay. Okay. So I know that's kind of cool. Yeah. Zero. Boy, I miss being a kid sometimes. I mean, you can't run around. No, if I played paintball, I suppose I could run around out there. But we don't have kids anymore. But when I was a kid, what we would do is we would like play, I guess, war or whatever it was. You shoot somebody and then they'd have to lay on the ground and be dead for 10 seconds or whatever. And you just pick up a stick. I mean, it's like it was just wild. Well, those were the days. Nowadays, some kid just goes to the store and buys himself a gun and starts really shooting people. Everybody wants. I don't know what it is about Americans. Maybe it is that we're just. I don't know what it is. Canadians don't run around and do this crazy shit. I feel irked today, and I think I'm just going to go take a machine gun to social studies class and just go goofy. Yeah, right. Okay, so then let's pretend this was an odd atmosphere. I don't know if anybody's seen This Island Earth, but it has some good production art, where the landscape you go through, I don't know what it's like the crust of the upper crust. It's like, and then you're down, spaceships are moving around. It's from the 50s, and it's kind of a sweet old science fiction story. This Island Earth. What's really amazing is that it's 100 years ago. Would be 1922. I don't know when Buck Rogers kicks in, but I guess it's a little while longer. But gosh, Buck Rogers, spaceships, paraphernalia, outfits. You could get the Buck Rogers complete outfit and go to school dressed up like Buck Rogers. And you'd have your Buck Rogers ray gun and your Buck Rogers boots, and there you be. It's Bucky Rogers. Anyway, for sheer talk about marketing. I hope nobody in 3D printing land goes goofy with Buck Rogers, and that would just get really annoying. Yeah, Buck Rogers is in. It's really in. Oh dear, because the outfits really weren't that. Flash Gordon had the same problems. They're like, those aren't great outfits. You know, I'm trying to think of who had great outfits for their sci-fi epic. Because you get some cartoonists. This is what futuristic looks like. Oh, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, sure, right. Oh no. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's not bad. So let us finish off detailing for this guy, right? And so we've come up with an approach to what's going on with these. So I had success in the past with what would be called a daily update format, where you take a comic strip, or you take you just have something going on every day, and it's interesting. Okay, so let's say that this is somewhat interesting. Now, I'm hoping that I can compress this to 25 minutes without too much trouble, because this was a fun video to make. Okay, but I may not be able to do that. Oh. But let's say part of what I do on a daily basis is pieces. When they're finished, people can buy them. And then I do the smaller kind of TikTok video things, a few of those maybe every day, right? Because the reason I'm doing partly why I'm doing this is the language thing. The language thing is so important. Language as technology. Yeah. Having fun with that. Okay. And this is kind of part of that landscape for smartphones. Sorry, well, that's the planetoid. Let's pretend that there's some smartphones, some malcontent smartphones are on this planetoid trying to rebel against human. Well, I hate using the word stupidity over and over again, but God, we're really working on it. Yeah. So, language as technology. Yes. Far out, and let's hope that didn't take too long to make. And I want to thank you very much for watching this. I'll see you next. Thank you.